Hey YouTube, it's me. I told y'all I was going to be doing some behind the scenes content, and here I am. Hey y'all, hey, we are back with another Car Chronicles episode. So today's Sunday, which is the first day of the week for me, and this weekend I've had time to just reflect on just everything that's going on around us. Like, I don't know, y'all. I know y'all heard. Listen, unless you living under a rock, I know doggone well you heard about the stories. The first one that came, child. Listen, there's a lot going on on the internet, okay? But the ones that really had me thinking was the story where the CEO of DoorDash, the boat just it just flipped over, and I think 8 people were unalived. Then there was another story about Kanika Jenkins. Her friend was at a boat party this weekend, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, and she was unalived. Now, the reason why these things, when I come across these stories, I look at it in a very spiritual way. Of course I don't like to hear people being unalived. I'm not saying I have no emotions towards these events, but y'all, we got to start. For me, it really just brought back discernment, paying attention to nature. Okay, a lot of the times we'll be giving warnings. We'll feel that feeling in our stomach. We'll be uneasy. We'll be given, sometimes it's even like you'll be given direction or messages through people or events and things like that. Now, I'm not saying that these people did not follow their discernment, or they weren't tapped in, or they didn't use it. But that is something I believe right now is very important that you're utilizing. If you feel a certain way about something, listening to yourself, okay? Sometimes you can even feel like you're paranoid, or I'm overreacting. I know you're not. You're not. You're absolutely not overreacting. Those are the feelings. Those are the things we were given to help guide us and protect us. And what's wild about the DoorDash story is the weather was good that day. The weather was good. There weren't any signs of issues with the weather. And then all of a sudden, huge waves. And then what made it even crazier is after that happened, it snowed. There was another lady, I ran across her video. She talked about the water, just staying up out the water. So yeah, that stuck out to me because the water, there's something very, in my opinion, there's a lot going on right now on this planet. I don't have all the explanations and the answers to what's going on, but in the video, sis was saying, just stay out of the water. Just stay out of the water. Be careful with the water. Don't be out here all willy-nilly with the water. If you get that pull, if you get that nudge, if you feel that gut feeling, just don't even get in the water. Me personally, I never really get in water. I've had experiences growing up. I'll never forget this one experience. I was about 11 or 12 years old, and I was going jet skiing. Now, I do remember we were in Lake Isabella. That's a lake out here in California. Now, as I'm on the jet ski, I'm having fun, but I'm going too fast, and I flip over. When I flipped over, there was algae. It was that stringy algae. It was it felt like it was grabbing me. Okay? Now, it could have just been algae. I'm not saying it wasn't algae, but I will not forget, it felt like it was trying to grab me in the water. That was my first, and I know how to swim, so it's not that I can't swim. I can swim. I've been swimming since I was 4. That's when I first learned how to swim. But at that moment, I was like, oh yeah, I'm not just gonna be getting in water. That was like when it first dawned on me, like there's things in the water. Okay, so you know, I have a respect for water. I respect nature. Okay, I'm not afraid, but what I'm saying is just pay attention. You know, pay attention to your surroundings. Pay attention to the messages that you get. Pay attention to how you feel. If you don't feel right about something, trust yourself. Don't go against your instincts. Don't go against your gut. You know, these people, had they been tapped in, had they been paying attention, maybe they were warned. Maybe things happened leading up to these events that warned them not to get in the water, but they weren't paying attention. That's why I'm speaking on this. Because when I heard the stories, that's the first thing I thought of. I'm like, oof. Pay attention to your intuition. Use your discernment. Don't feel bad if you feel like something's off. Believe yourself, okay? That to me, like for me, I've made most mistakes doubting myself and going against what I know. Okay, and I have many stories I can refer to that have shown me how much you do need to listen to self. You do. Okay? If you feel weird, just don't even get in the water. If you have a trip that's booked, if it's canceled, trust it. Everything happens for a reason. And most of the time we suffer, or we end up dealing with some type of you know, something we don't want to deal with when we don't listen to ourselves. Yeah. Usually we have some type of unfavorable circumstance when we don't listen to ourselves. Now, I don't know if these folks was warned. I'm just saying. And then another story that came across my desk that was very interesting is that little boo-boo doll. Y'all, we got, listen. I'm so convinced I'm not following any damn trends. I'm not buying what everybody's buying. Like, once you see things happening when there's a trend, usually they experiment when there's a trend. Usually they doing something nefarious when there's a trend. That doll look evil as hell, y'all. Did y'all see that little boo-boo doll? That doll look evil. If you just look at it, it looks weird. You know, I know our kids want things, like they see stuff on the internet or on TV and they're like, they want it. But we got to just vet things out. We got to really listen to ourselves. We have to really, you know, in my opinion, guys, stop following trends. Use your own judgment. I saw that damn thing. I said, there's no way. If my daughter came to me and was like, Mom, I want a little boo-boo doll. That thing looks crazy. You know, we got to stop following trends and start following our own mind. If it looks off, it's off. If it looks evil, it probably is. And there's people on TikTok talking about it. Like, there's people on TikTok saying there's weird stuff that's been happening when they bought these dolls. So you got to think about it. If evil entities have to have permission, they can't just come into your dwelling and just come in there. You have to invite them in. You buying that damn doll is inviting them in your home. Like, I don't know, guys. It's just a lot going on right now. What a time to be alive. Okay. I'm just, you know, like I said, when I see videos now, I'm looking at it on a more spiritual level. Like, what is this? What am I supposed to get from this? What am I supposed to get from this? And there's a lot, everything's pointing to discernment. Everything's pointing to intuition. A lot of it's pointing to using your own judgment and not being a follower of trends. Yeah. Having your own thought patterns, having your own ways, vetting things, even looking into things. Anyways, guys, make sure you got that thing turned on. You got that thing on. Make sure it's on. Turn it on. Okay, use your discernment, trust your instincts, trust your gut, never second guess what you feel. This is my thing, because I know energy will never lie. Energy can't lie. Energy won't lie. Anyways, guys, I hope you're having a wonderful weekend. Thank you for tapping into another episode of Car Chronicles. You can catch me on the Tickety Talk. I am Energy Wellness Mentor. On TikTok, I am Malia_Danielle. All of that stuff is in the description if you want to follow me on my other platforms. Peace and love to everyone. You guys have a beautiful, beautiful day. Have a wonderful week. Peace.